What's up? It's ObamasWeapon.com. Pretty much gone. I'm dead, man. I'm always thinking about how I'm already 30. Just turned 30. But guess what? I haven't lived a day of my life. What I'm talking about is forensic evidence. You go back and look at the characteristics of someone living their own life, not being abused by the government. And you find out there's no evidence of that being there at all. From the moment they had the power to fuck me up, they took that moment and they did it. So, how do you go through so many years not getting help? The government sweeps you under the rug to kill you. That's what they do. Get rid of this guy. We don't want to listen. We don't care if we hurt him. Nobody gives a fuck. No one's going to help him. That's the situation I went through. I was 23 when everyone had figured out they fucked me up good, but no one did anything right. They all used their power to make sure that I never got free, never got to expose that. At no point in time was anyone ever doing their forensic investigation of what was happening. There was no doctors. They're all trained to do that in school. There was no investigators. They're all on the side of covering shit up in this state. That's what you see. That's what the evidence shows in my case. And so the normal course of like an allegation of sexual abuse or an assault, there's supposed to be a big investigation every time. But there wasn't. Ever. Wow. So, that's what made me a target. They would go as far as they'd frame everything like I did it. Their injuries. I somehow broke my own wrist, or my own thumb, or my own leg, or my own fucking whatever. Every time. When they did it. Then you end up being 30 years old. And they have a way of going into your life to an excessive level to actually control everything that your brain's doing the whole fucking time with remote technologies. That's the ultimate thing they do with people when they want to fuck them up good in this country. By the thousands. It's a real weapon. The people that are exposed to this, there's only so many of them. But this level of crime, it's so effective. It just sits there right out in public all over the place happening. You're going up against them. You're one person. Every one of these victims is one person. There's no power against that. Yeah, it could have all been caught on security video and audio. No one would give a fuck. I started off just a kid, man. I was ready for life. I had a lot of energy. I was ready for school, ready to move past being abused by my family. I haven't even had a fucking job. I haven't even went to school. None of the things I was interested in doing I've done at all. Because someone was a roadblock to make sure you're not getting anything you want, Todd. You're not getting anything you need, Todd. There aren't going to be any accomplishments from you, Todd. And just one day you wake up 30 years old. How do you move past that? Your entire adulthood, you didn't live a moment of it. Someone else lived through you. How do you get to that point? How the fuck do you get to 30 years old and you didn't live any of your history yourself? How the fuck do they fucking do shit like this? How do they abduct people that they want to make victims and shit and actually get away with doing it? That's the question we're asking. Where are the checks and balances in people doing their jobs and leaving people to have their liberty and lives intact? Where is the fucking work? There isn't any. In fact, the goddamn whole system is full of so many loopholes to allow them to do this and to get away with it. There's no protections at any level. Not in the courts. Not with getting a lawyer, not with getting public help, money for help, not with anything. Nowhere. Nowhere is there a team of people you just walk in and go, hey, I've been set up, and everyone just goes to work figuring it out. Nowhere. Nowhere can you report a rape and get help that day when you're in the custody of the state. See, there's a whole big goddamn system of covering that shit up. There's nowhere you can go to report a sexual assault, some abuse, witnessing a crime, a murder attempt, some fucking queer shit set up that's so obvious, some verbal abuse. It's all a sign of the same shit being caught on tape over the years. Where do you go? Turns out there is no system. There's none. That's one of their defense mechanisms. There's no way to ensure a police report leads to action because the cops are probably protecting it all. There's no way you can go to a judge and say anything. They're not going to do shit. And I've tried and proven that. So you'll just one day wake up and I see these fucking tards out in the public and on TV, man. My face is all melted from radiation. And I'm like, fuck, how come this person didn't get melted with radiation? How come this little bitch on TV ain't fucking stuck in a prison dead or something? Why? How did this happen to me? Because I was denied justice. I was the victim the whole time. How did that happen? Where's the defense and protective shit? I found crimes my family was guilty of when I was younger. I looked at the penal codes in Oregon. They have something, codes regarding child abandonment and criminal non-compliance. I gotta look up the laws again, but they're felonies that apply to people who abuse and abandon their kids. I never once had a social worker even come up to the house. I'm sitting there for 7 years getting abused at my family's house before this happened. I wasn't even in school. The school was watching me get abused, and they didn't call no social worker, nobody. They didn't call the abuse agency. Go check up on Todd and see if his family's caring for him adequately when he's 12 and 13. And he's got a bloody face. Maybe someone assaulted him. Yeah, they did too. My family would bust my face up, keep me locked up in their room. They would abandon, they'd kick me on the street. I'm 12 years old. I'm 13 years old, walking the streets alone with no family. They're fully abandoned. So then you suddenly just end up 30 years old. Your face is melted with radiation. Your brain is super damaged with fucking concussion after concussion. Bang, bang, bang. How do you stop it from happening if there's no one there to investigate the government for their own fucking crimes? So I started off with my family, but it's really the state. Because, see, they were allowing that to happen. The state was the one responsible the whole time. They're the ones orchestrating everything when you're a kid. And it turns out, the kids don't have lawyers. So how do you go about getting help? You can't sue a school when you're a kid and your family's shit and the school's participating in that crap. And the state can interfere with your right to go out and get justice, because one might want to get justice when they've been abused like that, right? It might become a crime of necessity because nothing's there to change what's going on. There's no system. Well, you're going to go try to get yourself help any way you can, probably. But guess what? At every stage of the system, they had the capability of understanding that. They knew, but that was not the setup they had. They had one set up to frame you and make profits off you. They didn't even have a lawyer defense system. They didn't even have a defense fucking investigative system. They didn't have a treatment system. They didn't have any system but framing your ass and sending you to prison. Putting you there to rot. No lawyer. No, where's the $1 million defense that was to go? Where's the looking into the person's childhood and history of being abused? Where's all that stuff that they're supposed to do to build the case? None. You're not getting a defense in this country. And that's at every level. That's how my life started off. But I've seen it happen to everyone else. They're getting the same treatment. They're getting that bare bones, nothing treatment. They're all getting it too. Very unconstitutional. And they got it so that you can't even fucking find a lawyer who's interested in doing a lawsuit about it without plopping $100,000 on her desk. Because she wants paid up front. That's every single one of them. That's all they care about is getting paid. I was reading a judge's memoir, a book he wrote. He's saying the same shit. He's like, it's been morphed into one time you had very little pay as a lawyer. You're doing a lot of work on pro bono. And you didn't have a bunch of paralegals. You didn't have a bunch of nothing. It was very efficient. And they were getting their jobs done. And it's expanded to this profit-driven money-making machine today. All the lawyers are making case law. Just a lot of money involved in who controls the government through fucking judges in law, in case law, who gets their pointless, drivel shit arguments through the courts. But this doesn't seem to. It's only for profit. Okay, that's where the incentive to do that shit is. It's not to help anyone. And anything is to help someone's going to get suppressed out because it's not profit-based. They have mills of goddamn criminal defense lawyers who are just pathetic shit. They have just push the case through, get it settled, push the case through, usually resulting in plea bargains, not a trial and acquittal thing. Not a big case where it was all investigated and you have a huge trial. So you got a lot of false conviction going on with. They're abusing. They got the criminal justice systems like a weapon these days because you got nothing that's protecting you from it. And it's not like they go through the big. Well, was he trapped by something we did? Did the state do this? Did the state fail this and then set this up? early on? Did his family falsely make claims, or what's going on? And that's the same with every person, man. And they're just acting like, oh, it ain't hurtful to what we're doing in society with this piece of shit system. It ain't harming anyone. It ain't taking from their fucking rights. It's not leaving them brain dead fucking zombies who just lost 10 years of their lives for no reason. The prosecutors, they're operating on a basis where they could throw anyone in society away for anything. They just sit there and argue, more laws. This is really interesting. More laws, pass more laws, criminalize more people. That way we can lock anyone up with certainty because almost everyone's guilty or something. And the public is really interesting. The public watches people get thrown away. Some of them innocent. Dude, they just tried to convict a guy, and his wife and him had a suicide pact, and each shot each other in the head. Twice. But the guy survives his gunshot wounds and tried to get him with murder. 25 years. In prison, the two of them both just committed suicide. They want to put him in prison. See, that's an example of the court system, the prosecutors trying to throw every citizen away for nothing. That's a great example of it. This is in Portland, Oregon, this case. And the jury almost convicted him the first trial. It was split. But that's very close. That's showing the ignorance of the jury to almost want to put this guy away for murder, claiming that he killed his wife. She's got a suicide note. She sold her wedding ring. He sold his wedding ring. He's got a suicide note. They both killed themselves. That's the thing. They both claim that they both killed them, or shot themselves. And they want to get him with murder. I mean, she committed suicide, okay, and they have a Death with Dignity Act in Oregon, too. I mean, come on, man. What's with people's rights not to kill themselves? Don't they have the right to kill themselves? Well, the second jury, though, acquitted. But I've seen this before, too. I see these close calls. In fact, there's more people who end up actually convicted who aren't guilty. I mean, you see this kind of crap on TV all the time. They'll go through the investigation of it, and there it was. They had the prosecutor misconduct, evidence withheld, polygraphs misinterpreted. They had the wrong person the whole time. They still pushed that case through. The defense attorneys were crap every time. Later down the road, they find out there was a mistake. They bring in a new expert, new investigation, whatever. Over and over. History is full of cases like this. The FBI actually was tracing this where they themselves knew that they were using faulty forensics procedures that they themselves had in their rules they weren't supposed to be using. And was leading to false convictions. There's been other cases with the FBI fucking up good. But when they found out they were doing it, they didn't want to let anyone know. They covered it up. It's showing the FBI useless shit. They don't even want to admit that they were doing it once they figure it out. So where's the justice there? So the system is you don't even got to be guilty to be found guilty. You don't, got to be innocent to be found innocent. There's no science involved in any of this shit. There is no defense. The defense is a joke. whoever's got the best story, hopefully, and the public's usually tilted against the person who's on trial. I've seen so many cases. So the whole goddamn fucking system's a piece of shit. And they're holding back evidence. Government's got evidence that they're holding back all the NSA surveillance stuff, the military surveillance stuff, the fusion centers fucking information, that they're tracking everything. They got information on their own guilt and crimes that they're hiding. That's the problem with letting the government spy on everything, because they're controlling also all the gates and all the information. They cover up crimes. They go and they snatch up evidence and cover up their own crimes. They know where all the evidence is at. What you see in court ain't them. That's not their infrastructure. They got a way different infrastructure. They use parallel construction to hide all their infrastructure. That was exposed by the fucking NSA leaks. And Bill Binney and stuff, and all these people. And Edward Snowden. Shouldn't it be illegal for them to hide information they have from court? If the government's got that in their NSA database somewhere, and they've all looked at it and know about it, but they haven't put that in the record or let the guy's defense team use it. The guy's defense team, you can't go and use all that to prove he was innocent either. NSA surveillance stuff could prove the guy's innocence. They won't let it be used. They got satellite images, phone call recordings. They got all the fucking goodies. They got it all. And they don't give a fuck if the guy's innocent. They don't want anyone to see that information. It's so fucking sophisticated that you can't fucking fool it. They got brain scan technology that pulls out memories and stuff. They don't want people to know. There's nothing you can hide anymore. No secrets from them. The secrets, though, don't get you credit. You know, if your secrets actually expose that you're totally innocent and a great person, they don't give a fuck. They'll still throw you away. They don't care. You would think that our public defenders would be right on top of this the whole time, but they're not. None of them are. But are they? Really? Are they just hiding their involvement in all the state's fucking plots? That's the thing about it. Because these are supposed to be smart, educated people that they understand what the government's workings are, see? And the military and how they're spying on everyone, how the states are working around the society, you know. I mean, there's lots of examples from history to educate them and present, and, you know, so different times, different things were exposed, but it's as if no one cares. It's weird. It's so fucking weird. So fucking weird. Ignorant fucking attorneys. So what I'm saying is you're defenseless against this bitch machine. Every citizen is. So it's all part of the design. You're defenseless. You don't get help. There's no system to get you help. What do? And they can go as far as to falsely convict you and throw you into a prison? I mean, come on. That's insanity. That's like murder. They would actually use the justice system as a tool to murder someone, to get them thrown into prison falsely, to leave them defenseless, and not once would anyone care if that was wrong. So the public, they're also on the internet. You see that the public supports all this. So the district attorneys and the legislature, they keep writing crap laws to penalize things. Blah, 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 blah. Penalize everyone for something. Blah, 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 yeah, yeah. The public's like, yeah, new fucking protection. And then watch what they say on like Facebook and newspaper websites. They're like, you see anyone getting convicted, what they do? Every time a new citizen gets fucking coppled, whether they're innocent or truly guilty or whatever, they're like, yeah, I want to slit that guy's throat myself. I want to kill him. I hope he gets raped by Bubba in prison. Blah, 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 blah. It's so fucking funny. This public is violent and supporting all this shit. And even as their fucking fellow citizens get thrown into prison and jail, killed and hurt and violated and spied on and fucked up. They're sitting there supporting all this. It's so funny. Even one of them, they'll think that they're for it too. Like, yeah, kill him, fucking. Next thing you know, they're in jail for something. Under the same fucking system that's designed to fuck them up too, just as much as other people. It's a system of just throwing the public away. But these laws don't apply to the government. There's no government officials being affected by this. You don't see them going to jail when they kill someone. You don't see them going to jail when they assault someone. You don't see them going to jail when they rape someone. Very few of those cases are resulting. There's some that are, but very few. The ones that are done is the group mind, they get together and do something like that. They're not prosecuted for that. So they are mostly protected. The public is not. The laws are, like I'm always saying, applied to the public only. And the public's like, yeah, let's pass another fucking mandatory minimum law. Yeah. We all want to be in jail forever if we get caught. That's what the people don't. But they're programmed to actually just. It's funny, man. It's just like they just want to see themselves be put in jeopardy and risk. And they don't even know what surveillance is for. That's the other thing. Surveillance is cool. They think it's for terrorism. But it's been proven that terrorism doesn't really exist. And that surveillance is used for all population control. Mostly just invading everybody and controlling them. That's what population control is. They tried to get Martin Luther King Jr. to kill himself with surveillance. Writing a letter to him that was designed to make him kill himself. That was COINTELPRO. I mean, that's what they killed a Black Panther. They hired someone by murder to kill that dude. I mean, we've done this so many times. We kill people. And the public needs to know that's what it's all about. Just giving the government more power to kill and slaughter. And that's what happened to me. I mean, they were given the power to do this. There's loopholes everywhere allowing them to do it. Because there's no system to stop them. Even Russell Tice is a fellow member of one of the whistleblower groups, Sidwell Edmonds, FBI whistleblower, saying this. All these branches of government, they're not bound by any of the laws. They're completely free to do whatever they want. Kill, spy, experiment, eugenics, whatever. They can do it. Congress doesn't care. Hear no evil, see no evil. She said that. They don't care. There's no one watching. There's no one stopping what they're doing. No judges, no nobody. So what are you all going to do, public? You've invented a beast monster and you keep supporting. Yeah, more mandatory minimum laws. More, let's penalize this. More, more surveillance. Come on, keep supporting it. Yeah, take away my wage. Reduce the minimum wage. Take away my medical care. Yeah, come on. Keep limiting yourselves, public. God damn. Let the rich control and consume you. Let your drive for greed consume you. Because you think you're going to get power. You're not over them. They got the power completely controlled for them. All the riches, all the powers for them, not you guys. Not for the public. It's not for the juries. Not for the citizens walking the streets who aren't part of this.